Tales from the Grey Side presents 13 Nights of Halloween.
Let's make it 31 Nights of Halloween instead, if your heart can stand it.
Ever watch the spider stalk its prey? It's like a deadly game. The spider's web is beautiful, so the victim suspects nothing. Then, one bite from the spider's fangs and the victim is paralyzed. Helpless, the web becomes a death trap. That's how it was with Ellis Grant. His web was a lovely mansion, but when he decided on murder, it too became a death trap. In his own way, Grant was as cold-blooded and deadly as the monstrous creatures he bred. But how could his victims ever have suspected that? After all, he was a cultured man, a man of taste, the perfect host. Soon, my pretty, thanks to your hospitality, I'll be able to leave here. Even I was never a better host. I wish there was some way I could thank you for helping me to get away with murder. The horror in the beginning was muted. No one on that first day could have guessed what was in Ellis Grant's mind. Ellis, kill it! It's horrible! When you asked us to help you look for one of your pets, I never dreamed that it was a spider. Come now, Carol. You of all people should know that I wouldn't have just ordinary pets. But, forgive me, my dear. I'm not living up to my reputation as a good host, am I? Why, I can still recall how upset you were when you had to break our engagement because you'd fallen in love with Paul here. Remember how guilty you felt because you'd taken Carol away from me right after I'd made you a junior partner in my firm? Alice, stop it. You can see how shaken up Carol is. I know you've always gone in for the bazaar, but that thing looks deadly. If it ever bit you... Bit me? It won't, Paul. My pets know me, see? I've learned to grow them to a tremendous size, and they're grateful. One of them does get out every now and then, of course. Good Lord. Dozens, hundreds of them. Monsters. Ellis, how could you? You should have warned us. If we'd known about this hobby of yours, we'd never have agreed to spend the weekend. Ugh. Later. Carol, I'm sorry I've been thoughtless. I wanted so badly for you to enjoy these few days, to prove to you that I'm not bitter. You know how I pride myself on being the perfect host. Come on, forgive me. Then we can all dress for dinner. Will you? Yes, of course I'll forgive you, Ellis. I know you wouldn't deliberately. Of course. I'll get dressed. Later. Napoleon brandy, Carol. Remember? I ordered it for us on the night when we became engaged. Ellis, please. You don't mean anything unpleasant, I know, but... But you'd rather I don't talk about us. I understand. I sound almost jealous, don't I? Very well then, I'll stop. How could anyone have guessed then the horror lurking behind that smiling face? But that was then. He was not smiling afterward. Now, my beautiful little pet, now you can repay my hospitality by proving that no one takes anything away from Ellis Grant. No one. Ah! Paul! That's Paul! Carol, what happened? What? Paul, is he... He's dead! Dead! That monster! It must have bitten him! It killed him! No, it didn't! You brought us here to torment us! And then you killed him! Did I? Really? You saw the spider? It got loose! I can hardly be blamed for that now, can I? That was your alibi, wasn't it? You hated Paul. You wanted him dead. But you'll pay. How? How will you kill me, Carol? Don't be a fool. Of course I did it. But who will believe you? No one. So just put down the poker. Carol, don't be stupid. You can't prove a thing. And playing the broken-hearted sweetheart won't get you anywhere. Murderer! I can still make you pay for what you've done. I can still... You little fool. You leave me no choice. Oh. She's dead. Her head. She struck it on the bricks. Mr. Grant, you killed her. I've got to call the police. The police? No, you mustn't. No. One death Ellis Grant might have been able to explain, but two, he ran. He needed time. Time to think, to plan. But a man, even a man like Grant, is not really like a cat or a spider. A man cannot see in the dark. Ah! My leg! I must have broken it! It feels like 1,000 knives! But I can't stay here. Hide! Got to hide! The opening! It could be a cave! Oh! In his pain and his terror, Grant did not see the web. He did not feel the cool water that splattered his face. He fell into darkness, but when he awakened... Something on my chest. Heavy. Ah! That spider was not like the others. It was gigantic, a nightmare. A moment and those slavering fangs would find his throat. He closed his eyes. He waited. And then... Leaving? It's leaving. It must be one of mine. One that escaped and just kept on growing. But it's leaving. I must have a chance. A chance. Grant clung to that thought. He worked desperately, but... No use. It's no use. I can't walk. Not even with the splint. Oh no. It's back. Stay away. Stay away from me. Stay away. Then miraculously... Fruit? That's a wild apple. It isn't possible. It's brought me food. It wants to help me. I knew it. I was right. Spiders can feel gratitude. It's grateful to me because I raised it, took care of it. I'm safe. Safe. Safe, do you hear that, Carol? You were wrong. I can stay here until I'm well, and I have money in banks all over the world. I will get away with murder. I told you. I will. That was the beginning. Ellis Grant crowed his triumph. In all his life, he had never felt friendship for any living thing, and yet... Well, so there you are. I was beginning to think you'd left me. Where have you been? I missed you. Ah, more food. Thank you, my friend. Your hospitality is perfect. Almost as perfect as my own. Thank you. And in time... At last I can walk. Thanks to you, I can get out of this hole. Tomorrow, I leave you. I owe you a lot. But tomorrow, it's goodbye. A good night's sleep. And then Paris, Rome, South America, fine wines, the best of everything. That night Ellis Grant slept well. He was happy, content, so that at first, when he finally opened his eyes, he was merely annoyed. My back, itching. At first he tried to stand, to reach around to his back, but he did not stand, and he did not reach around. What in... my arms, my legs, I can't move them. I can't move at all. I can't... The spider, it's injected me with its venom. I'm paralysed. There's no other answer. Help! Someone! Anyone! Help me! For God's sake! Help me! Grant screamed then, but who was there to hear? Even the eight-legged monster that had helped him was gone. He screamed, and then he screamed no more. What was the use? That day became 2, 3. He would beg for death in the end, but it was not to die, not quite yet. First there was to be the agony. That began on the 10th day. Ah! My back! Pain! I hurt! Something is tearing at me! Ah! But even that screaming died away at last. By the 14th day, Grant could only whimper. No! No more! Please! I can't stand any more! Why? Why did that spider do this to me? Why? Why? There was no answer to that. Not for 14 endless agonized days. And then Grant looked along his paralyzed outstretched arm. No! Oh no! Stared and remembered. It really was quite simple. He no longer even cursed his fate as he pictured the book in which he had read the answer long ago. Grasshoppers. Some spiders therefore lay their eggs in a cocoon attached to the back of a paralysed insect, on which the infant spider feed when they emerge. Such an insect is called the host. But then Grant had no cause to curse his fate. It was no more than he deserved. After all, he said it himself, hadn't he? He was the perfect host. The end.